can do for me? You can't do nothing for me. I don't need you. You living in my apartment. You ain't even supposed to be here. Now this is a psychological drama that's being orchestrated by a wise Satan, manipulating the ignorance of both parties. All praises due to Allah. This is why we shall know the truth, and the truth shall make us free, because this kind of drama makes us at odds with one another. But we're two halves of one whole. Hell, man, in the black man is the X and the Y chromosome. In the black woman is the X. The X in mathematics is unknown. The unknown part of God is in that black woman. The unknown part of God is in the black man, but Jesus said you gotta see out. In order to see it, look at the other side of the room and look at the God inside yourself. This is the second self of God. So how are we gonna know the complete part of God in ourselves if we're not looking in God in our black woman? And this cracker knows this. This cracker knows this. So he manipulates our knowledge. He manipulates our ignorance. And by manipulating our ignorance, what he does, he puts the black man in pain. He knows that, look, man, if I'm the one with the jobs, I ain't hiring no black man.
That's right, brother.
Because if I hire him, I know the cream rises to the top. I know that in him is the master builder. I know he got the compass and the square in his nature. And eventually it's going to come to the knowledge of himself. If I allow him to get money and marry that money with wisdom, he's going to take over. I can't let him take over, because as long as there's black and white in America, there has to be a superior and an inferior. And I, as a white man, want to be on a superior end, so I'm going to crush this black man. I'm going to make a chess move. I, as a cracker, I'm going to be the king, but I'm going to let that black queen move all over the board by my permission. Make sure she works. Make sure she gets the education. But she's psychologically going to always look, I'm the one that got your 401k. I'm the one that made sure that your credit score can give you the opportunity to get it up to where it's at. I'm the one at the end of the day that if you lose your job, you know you can't count on this black man. Why you can't count? Because he's just good for nothing. No, he ain't good for nothing. He got a damn enemy that's been blocking his way.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Turn the light on. Make it plain.
Robbing him of the knowledge.
Yeah. Turn the light on.
Making it hard for him to accept. I mean, brothers and sisters, we're two halves of one whole, but our natures are different. The male is not like the female.
That's right.
We're not going to submit to that Christopher Columbus garbage. We're not going to submit to that Abraham Lincoln garbage. And even though we may be told, look, man, you just got to bear through it to get to the next level. Sister, you got more patience than this black man. I can't bear through that. There got to be another way. Because in the nature of him, he is a God, but he don't know he's a God. And there's something in his nature telling him, you're supposed to be ruling. You're supposed to be productive. You're supposed to be making money. And so when he's not ruling, he's not being productive, he's not making money, in the hearts of hearts, he's crying on the inside. Because I can't give my babies what I want to give my babies. I can't do for my family like I want to do for my family. And because my woman is ignorant to my condition, she's looking at me like I'm just lazy. And when I confide in her and let her know what really, really, really bothers me in the middle of the night in our pillow talk, later when we have an argument, she kicks it back in my damn face. So I ain't got nobody. So God comes from Mecca, traveling 9,000 miles by himself to seek and save that which was lost. This black man that's going through all this kind of pain. All praises due to Allah. All praises are due to Allah. Look, the pain is so deep that if you and I don't have an understanding of where that pain is coming from, and somebody that will speak to our pain as another black man, then we'll keep going on this spirally line down into our own sunken place. We want to help you get out.
That's right. Get up out of there.
Get out. Look, brothers, sisters, when we're going through this with the improper knowledge, a ignorance that's being manipulated by an outside force with a hidden hand. All right, black man broke. Black man ain't got no job. Black man trying to find a job, can't get a job.
Right.
Eventually, he may start hustling.
All right.
Prison system waiting for him.
That's right.
Because it's a trap. The whole hustle game becomes a trap. That the enemy done already took into consideration because he was doing it before us. So now, in the midst of that being broke, not being able to produce like we know we should be producing,
Come on, brother. That's right.
what's the relief? So you're going to spell relief through some liquor? Through some get high, some weed? Through some pills or some coke? And then you want pleasure. So in the midst of that relief with that get high and all that, the pleasure is this black woman.
Come on.
I don't care if the brother is a bum living on the street, he got him a woman. Because it's by nature, God designed us for one another.
That's right.
But this black woman has an egg. And as this black man is trying to get pleasure, recreational activity, a baby's going to be produced at some point in time, but you ain't got no job. And you're not producing. You was just looking for pleasure. Recreation. The minister points out to us, recreation comes after work.
That's right, brother.
After you put in work, then you get recreation. And in the word recreation is to recreate. The purpose of that pleasure and that recreation is to reproduce yourself. But if you just want it for pleasure, the black woman shouldn't give no black man pleasure that ain't putting in no work. For what?
That's right. Contribute something.
Yeah, I know. It sounds raw, but it's real, man.
It's real.
As civilized people, we don't deserve to have a woman if we not putting in the work to maintain that woman. The hell, why should she give you herself?
Come on.
Hell, when you go into different borders and you come by a ship into the shores of another border, you can't come in unless they weigh your ship, check what's on the cargo, because they like, you're not coming up this canal. And we don't know that your cargo is right, that your weight is right, and you got to pay a fee. So why should she let you up her canal? And you ain't got no damn cargo, and your weight is not right, and you ain't paying nothing. Look, I'm your brother. Don't get mad at me. Am I saying something wrong? No, I'm just dealing with real talk for real people, man. We got to come up out of the mindset of this enemy. And what I'm talking about is the kind of pain that we have been going under. But I'm telling you, this knowledge allows us to be relieved of that pain. But it ain't just the knowledge alone. There's some work that has to come along. You are responsible. I am responsible for what I know.
That's right. Oh, yeah. Yes, sir.
So the minister said the pain of being non-productive makes you seek pleasure that keeps you non-productive. Each one of you is in pain. When you wake up in the morning and you look in the mirror and you know deep down inside you are as great as any man of greatness that you've heard about, read about, or seen in real life. You know you are as great as any one of them, possibly greater. But there's no avenue of opportunity to allow you to demonstrate your individual greatness. Then this breeds frustration. It breeds envy and jealousy. Now, envy and jealousy are two impediments that can impede on our willpower. Where you may have the desire to do the right thing, and your desire is feeding your will to do what you know is right according to the plan that you have come up with. But envy and jealousy can stop you in your tracks.
That's right.
Now, when a non-productive black man look at black men that are productive, that stuff starts coming up in us.
That's right. Come on,
And who these niggas think they are? Look at them. coming all around here in these suits and ties, talking about peace and love, wanting to help the people. I need a job, I need a job.
That's right. That's what they say.
Calling out women queen and all this, that, and the other, man. Acting like, you know, this is some fairy tale, man. It's hard out here being a black man. I don't need no paper, I need a job. I don't want to hear no peace, I ain't got no peace. So the frustration starts speaking out. But those of us with the knowledge of God and the knowledge of self and the love for God and our people, we can take plenty of that.
That's right.
Because we understand, brother, I was that dude.
That's right.
If I wasn't that dude, I know some that was around me that been, come on, man, look, all right, you don't want to be bothered right now, I'm going to leave you alone, man, and step to the next one.
That's right.
But understanding that, look, man, you can come to my spot. My spot is at 202 Pennsylvania Avenue. Come on over to the spot. The dude behind the door gonna let you in. You come on up here and get a hit of this. And if you like it, stick around. Start fellowshipping with your brothers. And realize there's another side to that pain that is dealing with some real pleasure that's deeper and more rewarding than the pleasure of procreation.
Come on, brother. That's right. What you say? Unity.
Now, I know some of us that have been worshiping our lower self so long, man, brother, there ain't nothing better than procreation and recreational activity. Brothers and sisters, don't you know your nature is God?
Yes.
And God, what pleases God is when he or she can come up with a thought, formulate it into an idea, then make up a plan on how you're going to bring that idea into fruition. And then start working in the name of the Creator to make plans and get resources to bring that idea into fruition and influence others to help with that plan and then see it come into its physical reality. That's more pleasure than any woman could give a man and than any man could give a woman, because that's the nature of God inside the original man and the original woman. That kind of pleasure and the platform to get to that kind of pleasure is right here with the teachings of Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the guidance of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I invite you to join hands with them. Thank you for giving me your time and your patience, family, as I greet you all in peace. Assalamu alaikum. All praises are due to Allah. All praises are due to Allah. All praises are due to Allah. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
How many of you glad you came out today on this Sunday? Praise be to Allah. Thank you, brothers and sisters. I'm glad to be here as well. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. I know it's warm, and there's a lot more that I have to do. My day is nowhere near finished. But this is the best part of my Sunday, because it gets me fueled up for the rest of the week. This is where I get high at. You know, this is where and staying in this kind of teaching, you stay lit. You stay lit. How many of you here today are here for your first time, never been to the mosque before? Can I see by a show of hands? All praises. Let's give them a round of applause. All praises due to Allah. I know some of you got here a little late, but you got here at the time where God wanted you to be here. And the atmosphere was what it was. Is that right? And so for you to say that you're glad that you came, that means the atmosphere was an atmosphere that allowed you to feel that way. But how many of you believe what you heard and that what you understood to be the truth and good for us as a people? Can I see by a show of hands? The truth is independent of itself. Is that right? Truth is independent. All praise is due to Allah. Well, I know as a student representative of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he wants to make sure that we have mosques and study groups everywhere so that our people can hear this truth.
That's right.
It's not so much for you to come into the Nation of Islam. You're already a part of the Nation of Islam.
Right.
But as I'm representing on his behalf, he would be glad to know that you're glad that you came. He would be glad to know that you believe what you heard to be the truth and good for us as a people. But he also wants to know, and I need to know, how many of you, based off of that truth and your belief in that truth, and based off of the fact that you're glad that you came, how many of you are ready to join hands with the minister, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and come on into the mosque with us and start studying and learning more about this teaching for the betterment of yourself and your people, so that we can do the work that's necessary to lift up the rest of our family and our people. If you want to take that kind of stand, I would like to shake your hand on behalf of Minister Farrakhan. Are there any of you that's ready to take that kind of stand and come stand with the minister and help with this work? Is there any of you like that? I see my brother Brandon, he already recommitting himself, but we got him already. You know what I mean? But all praises due to Allah. The door is always open to you, family. We don't have to beat you in the head with that. The fact that you believe it to be the truth and good for us as a people, understand this: you and I are responsible for what we know. And some of you may already be involved with work with other groups. And that's good, because we need to fellowship together. Where there's unity, there's strength. You see? And we don't have to be on the coming from the same mathematical equation, as long as we have the same common denominator. We're all suffering. We're tired of seeing our people suffer, and we want to bring our people up out of that condition. We can work together like that in righteousness. So I'm only saying that to say the doors of the Muhammad Mosque is always open to our people. You belong to God. And it doesn't matter how you look at God, by what name you call God. We are flesh of each other's flesh, bone of each other's bone. You can always come here and bring your family, but please don't bring no white people up in here. This, I'm sorry, you look, we gotta have a place where we can go to that's just for us to clean up our stuff. When the white people come around, they come to the big meeting. They can come to Savior's Day. They can come to them outside rallies that Minister Farrakhan does. But when it comes down to Muhammad Mosque, 7C,
No, sir.
we would rather it just be us. No, really. I'm trying to be nice about it. You can take the teaching back to them, but don't try to bring no white girl or no white boy up to this door. It's going to be a problem. And you might get embarrassed and feel bad, or they wouldn't let you in. I'm sorry, but no. We got to have a place where we can go to, and it's just us, and we're comfortable. Is that right? You ain't got to worry about who's sitting behind you, who's sitting to the next to you. You ain't got to worry about what's happening with your coat. You know everybody in here done been checked. This is a secured environment. This is about us. And you know what it does? It makes us, if you've never been in that kind of environment before, it makes you feel like, man, I want this to be like this every day with me.
That's right.
I know that's how I was when I first started coming out.
Same here, brother.
Because I came from them dens of iniquity.
That's right.
Where you in one room in a place and something's going on in the back room that's not right. And you always looking over your shoulder like, what? You know, I'm trying to stay focused. Many of you may not have come out of that walk of life. I'm just testifying because I met a man that met another man who said he met God. He opened my blinded eyes. So brothers and sisters, I thank you. I thank you for being with us. I want you to know our next meeting will be on Wednesday night, and we deal with our study groups on Wednesdays and Fridays. Wednesday night study group is dealing with the time and what must be done, which is a lecture series that Minister Farrakhan did in 2013. All the way up through week by week up until 2014, 58-part lecture series. We study those lectures. The material is made available for you when you get here. And then we have questions that are drawn up from our mosque in Chicago that allows us to have dialogue. The questions draw up dialogue about the wisdom that's coming out in the lecture. You need to come out. I mean, it's very profound. It's not set up the way it is right now. We sit in circles and we build. You know, and then on Fridays, and that meeting on Wednesdays, it starts at 8 o'clock and ends at 9:30. And then on Friday nights, we have study group from 7:30 to 9 o'clock, and that's based out of the study guide, Self-Improvement, the Basis for Community Development, where we're dealing with self-analysis, self-examination, self-analysis, and self-correction. And these topics, as I said before, deal with overcoming difficulty, the struggle for balance, rising above emotion into the thinking of God. You know, the 4 great impediments to self-improvement. You know, mixed feelings and controversy, how do we handle it? And we use scripture that the minister has given us from the Quran, as well as the Bible and what prophets have gone through, to look at the principles in their trials and tribulations to identify with things that we deal with in our personal lives. Those study guides help us to be able to overcome the weight of this wicked world and how it has affected our lives and our personality, along with the supreme wisdom lessons that gives us the building blocks to get back to our original self and deal with all the intricacies of personality conflicts that we've had in between. It's a very good class and study course. And those study guides are available. I know we may still have some in the mosque, but this is a copy of the first volume of the study guides. You know, you can get it here at the mosque if you're able to. It's, I think, about $20 or $25, but it's power packed with wisdom. So if you purchase it and you're not able to make it out on Fridays, at least you got the knowledge and you can be reading along and going through the study guide yourself, so that when we come together, we can build on some of that. All right?
Yes, sir.
Now, we're getting ready to close out. I'm going to have my brother Darren come up and deal with our public collection. But I wanted to say, brothers and sisters, there's a dietary law that we practice in the Nation of Islam called How to Eat to Live.
That's right.
And in our dietary law, we strive to eat 1 meal a day.
Come on.
And we strive to make sure that we're following the dietary law in the sense of certain foods that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told us not to eat. The book How to Eat to Live is downstairs on the table. If it's not down there, we'll make sure we get some in supply. Do we have it, Brother Secretary? It's downstairs on the table. I would suggest you get that book. And why am I touching on that right now? You and I have magnetic attraction that's within us that needs to be released. And that magnetic attraction is tied to our dietary law, our prayer, our fasting, and this knowledge that when we're on it the way we should be, the blood that flows from our head to our toe in 8 minutes and 20 seconds and back, it carries that electromagnetic energy that with the wisdom of God, and that wisdom is light that moves at 186,000 miles per second, traveling with the life fluid of blood in us, that when it gets to our brain, you and I can become illuminated. I mean lit. I don't mean just lit high with the wisdom. I mean you glowing, and it affects other people. That when you are around them, they feel more hopeful. They have more ideas of what they can do in their life. We got to get that back among us, because that's what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad brought to us, and that's what our ancient ancestors had. I'm telling you, it's here.
Yes, sir.
And there's a way to bring that out to whereas you would find yourself and I would find myself dealing with the problems in our family and being able to inspire them overnight and help change their condition. But we got to discipline our eating, physically as well as mentally, and we got to submit to the knowledge that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has given us through the Minister Farrakhan. Let us bring on our brother Darren 2X with a round of applause. He will guide us and lead us in the charity, brothers and sisters. Thank you once again as I greet you all in peace. Assalamu alaikum.
All praise is due to Allah. Brothers and sisters, we can do better than